Finally! Finally! Driver! Give me a horn straight from the Queen of England. Oh my God! Don't vex, I just come all the way from 𝗂𝗏, Nigeria.
Sorry, mate, I can't quite understand what you're saying. Could you take it slower?
What are you talking about? Bona, where you there?
I don't know.
Hey! Can you see Asma?
Okay, just give me my money. You owe me £70.
£70?
Yeah.
35,000 naira for taxi man jogging. Did you carry me from hellfire to heaven?
Jay, you the craze? Huh? Jay, you the craze? Okay.
I have talent in music. And you want to discover me, so you are 𝗔𝗱𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Sodom and God has blessed my hostel.
I said, give me the money.
So don't have area what?
I'm not going anywhere with you.
People like grass.
Salad.
Grass.
One last thing. Did you see Wenger, like face to face, as a Wenger? You saw him. Tell Wenger that we, the Arsenal fans in Africa, we are tired of him. He should resign.
Yeah, so welcome Sukami for your speech on contemporary Nigerian cinema and distribution methods. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you very much, Shemin. Thank you very much, everyone. It's really an honor to be here, and I'm really excited. I consider it a rare privilege to be among like minds, and thank you for the warm welcome. It really gladdens my heart. So thank you very much, everybody. So can I begin?
Sure. The stage is all yours.
All right. So I'm going to make a quick presentation. I'm going to be as fast as possible. I know I have 40 minutes because I have 2 presentations. So I'm just going to try as much as possible to please, Shemin, be my timekeeper.
Sure.
Yes. So
feel free, my friend.
Thank you. So can you see my screen? All right, lovely. So before I begin, I would like to say that Nollywood cinema has come of age. Nollywood started as a result of what I call kind of entrepreneurial filmmaking when there was a war in Nigeria around 1967. So that caused like a decline, in the cinema culture. But there was the advent of home videos, which brought about a renewed interest in cinema. And the proper cinema culture in Nigeria only returned, let me say, about 15 years ago, when we had like a revitalized cinema culture in the Nigerian space. So I will jump right into it because when we talk about distribution in contemporary Nigerian film. There's a lot to talk about. So I'm just going to jump into some of the developments. I don't know how much you know about Nollywood. I know that you must have heard about Nollywood. Nollywood is kind of categorized, in different ways. And now we have what we call the new Nollywood, and we have the old Nollywood. And the new Nollywood is more contemporary, if I may put it that way. So we have this section of Nollywood that churns out volume of productions, and we call it the Asaba, and there are other places in Nigeria where we make this type of films. But we also have films that are designated for the cinema. We also have films that are designated for international distribution. So as I go on with my presentation, I'm going to be sharing some references of some films that show an example of how far we have come in terms of our distribution, the distribution of our films. Of course, there are different genres from feature length to series, whether it's limited series or web series, documentaries, mini documentaries, and there are TV shows as well that are catching on, in the content distribution space. The first thing I just would like to talk about, that we consider in Nollywood before distribution is to determine the work that is going out, to categorize it, so that from the beginning, filmmakers in Nollywood try to identify the kind of films they want to make and the journey that that film would take. So we have what we call the high concept film, which has a more broader appeal. It has scale, and it has local and international box office numbers, and it's designed to suit a wide audience. So we have those type of films that feature in the Nollywood space. We also have the low concept films, and these low concept films are more artistic in nature. They open industry doors for filmmakers. It's great writing. The ideas are very original, but it's very arty. That's where we have directors that are auteurs, that have a personal style with the way they make their film. And the most important thing for this, whether it's high concept or low concept, the premise of the films have to be unique and fascinating. Then they must have what I call a global resonance, and there should be a return on investment, which is the key essence of distribution in the first place. Returns on investment, and contemporary Nollywood cinema is about returns on investment. Yes, it's about the quality of work, but when the film goes out there, the producers or the investors should be able to recoup, the money, the finances that they have put in. So this trailer I'm going to play, it's please, Shemin, please confirm if you can hear the audio. I'm not sure I clicked on include audio, so let me just play. Let me know if you can hear this.
No, there's no audio.
Did you hear any audio? All right, so just give me a moment. Let me log out.
Sure.
Let me just close and open again. Let me share again. Yes,
no problem.
Apologies for that.
No problem.
Yes. No, not yet. Okay. I'm sure you should hear it now. So this is also me giving you an insight into Nollywood cinema, and also some our collaborations with other African countries. So this trailer I'm about to play is the trailer of a film from Ghana. Sorry, I think I'm having a bit of a technical. Okay. Just give me a moment. Okay. All right. Please help me confirm if you can hear the audio.
It's clear. It's clear. I can hear it.
All right.
The story of my childhood is a strange one. So strange that most people find it impossible to believe.
Okay, so this is Burial of Kojo. This film was made by a Ghanaian filmmaker. I'm using it as a reference because this was an independent film that was made by this young filmmaker. And he wasn't even a filmmaker before he made this film. He was a musical artist, but he started teaching himself filmmaking. But this is an example of a low concept film, but it's very artistic. You know, it's a fresh voice. It's stunning. The visuals are stunning. And this film was picked up by Ava DuVernay's film distribution company, Array. And the distribution is not just within Africa. He was able to get like a good deal for this film, even in Europe and parts of America. So this is an example of the development in contemporary African cinema, and how young and fresh voices are pushing their works out there. So for Nollywood, we have like particular genres that the audience welcome, you know, because I know that there are a lot of similarities between Nollywood and Bollywood, and even recently there was a film called Namaste Wahala, which is now on Netflix, which is a collaboration between India and Nigeria. And it was about the culture shock, and it was about a couple, a Nigerian guy and the Nigerian, an Indian boyfriend and a Nigerian girlfriend. And it was about the culture clash. And that's an example of how comedy, music, how Bollywood meets Nollywood in that sense, you know. So these are genres that we are very familiar with, that the audience warm up to: comedy, drama, romance, thriller, crime drama, adventure, and psychological, whether it's a psychological thriller or a psychological drama. And I'm not saying that the Nigerian audience don't welcome other genres like horror or musical, but you have to blend it with any of these genres. And if you are going to take your film to the cinema, for instance, it's important to consider this set of genres and ensure that you have elements of this in your film. Also, the themes that you usually find in Nollywood films revolve around political drama, immigration, gender equality, mental health, corruption, coming of age, hyperrealism, historical themes, love, greed, vengeance, hope, family, confinement, escape, and death. Because these are the things that we worry about. There are a few other things that are not here, like spiritualism, you know. All these come out strong in our films. And the contemporary Nollywood cinema for distribution focuses on this because you want your themes to be relevant and you want them to be universal. And I believe that these themes as well are universal for anyone, anywhere in the world to connect with. So for effective distribution, the things that Nollywood is beginning to consider, as you will see in the trailers and the films that I will be sharing with you, would be number one, control. You know, a control of the resources to make films. Then quick turnover. You know, if you make a film, you want to make a turnover because if someone has invested in your film, in a year or two, they want to be able to recoup their investment so they can put that money back in the film. Then content volume. You know, that's very important for distribution. If you're distributing a series, the distributors would ask you, how many episodes of a series do you have? Consistency is also important. Those are some of the things that guarantee the success of the new Nollywood cinema. Consistency, filmmakers that are consistent, that even if it's just one film or two films in a year, then technical innovations as well. You know, an actor database, a crew database, professional crew, professional talent, fresh talents, then bankable talents, very important. And also the quality of performance also guarantees an effective distribution. Also, your technical specifications are what you do in post-production, your color correction, your grading, your graphics, animation, special effects, your sound design. All these are powerful things that Nollywood filmmakers are beginning to take seriously for the distribution of their films. We're also beginning to take into consideration, because we are coming from a place where we were making home videos with VHS cameras, and the qualities were not so great. But in the last 20 years, there has been a kind of growth in our understanding of what it means for a film to be technically sound. So we are following the right specifications. So whether it be the art direction of our films, the atmosphere, the architecture, the lighting, and the production design, you know, there is a step up in the way Nollywood is beginning to ensure distribution of their films across board. Cinematography as well, the look and feel, the cinematic techniques. I remember growing up and watching a lot of films from Europe, from America, and also from India, you know, and you would see that there was that focus, and these are the influences for Nigerian filmmakers, the quality of production, you know, the attention to details, which we are beginning to see in Nollywood films. So the look and feel, the cinematic techniques, you know, the skin tone, you know, the choice of cameras, the choice of lenses, you know, and the accessories that are used to ensure whether it's grip or whether it's lighting, equipment, all these things are important. Then the formats that we shoot in. Nollywood filmmakers are beginning to consider that if my film is going to Europe, I must be able to conform to the right video specifications and the right audio specifications. So you would begin to find that in the kind of works that are being churned out. I'm going to play another video. This video is also an independent film by a friend of mine, 𝗪𝗚 𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀. It's called 𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗀. She made this film with $15,000, and she got huge distribution for this film. It wasn't successful at the cinemas, but she was able to get an international deal from France for this film. So I'll quickly play the trailer for us to see.
Na party we dey go, no good is God. Just a run for you. You understand? Just say you want carry this motor. See, I bring this motor, go use and flex today. Enter that party with style. No, you are catching motor be this. Okay.
Excuse me. That's okay. We can't see the video. We can just see hear the audio.
Okay, you can't see the video.
I can't see the video. I could just see the, hear the audio of it. Yeah, maybe if you could play it once more, it will be nice.
Okay, how about now?
Now
Can
I
you
can
see it
see
now?
some. Yeah, I can see if you can click play. Yep.
I think we dey go, no good is God. Girls just dey
How
run
about
from
now?
you. You understand? Just say you wan carry this motor. See, I bring this.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, it's playing. It's playing. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Motor, go use and flex today. Enter that party with style. No be attach motor be this. Okay.
If I don't get that motor today,
Sorry about that. I think
your papa, he go die.
sorry, for some reason the video has frozen. Let me just continue. But I mean, I think we saw a bit of that video. Sorry about that. Can you hear me, Shamin?
Yeah, I can. No problem. Please continue. Please continue.
All right. So I'll move on. There's still other videos there. So I don't know what went wrong with that one. Okay, I think I'll just continue presenting on a small. Can you read the slides?
Yeah, I can. Now I can see a slide which has Kasala written on it with a video on it. Like it's not playing, it's just idle.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about now? What can you see now? Because I'm supposed to be on exhibition.
No, it's still on Kasala, but with a different picture.
Okay. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
Let me change my internet. Apologies, everyone.
No problem.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna change my internet, so I think I'm having issues. Sure. Okay. I'm just going to reshare my screen again. Yeah. So I don't know, can you see my screen, please? Can you hear me?
There is some problem with the video. Video we can't see.
Okay. You can't see the video, right?
No.
Let me see. How about now? What can you see now?
No.
Okay.
I can hear the audio but can't see the video.
What can you
Just
see?
gray.
Okay, you can't see the video. Okay, you can't even see the presentation. Can you see any presentation?
I can see some video. There is something, but it's a gray screen. Like it's not, the video is not playing properly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, I can see your presentation now.
Okay, you can't see. Okay, so tell me what, I don't know what you can see. Can you see exhibition cinema?
No.
Okay.
Maybe you could close the sharing option and redo it. Then might work better.
Okay, that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I'm sorry, everyone. Apologies, please.
No problem, my friend.
Any luck?
I think it's loading.
Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to continue presenting. I'm just going to call my IT while this is going on to help me fix it, but I'll just continue presenting.
Sure. Oh yeah, I can see your presentation now.
All right, can you see my presentation now?
Yeah, we can.
So what can you see? I just want to be sure.
Exhibition cinema.
Okay, all right. Apologies once again, everyone. I wish I could speak a word of India to apologize. The only thing I know is namaste. So.
No problem. It's all part
all
of
right, so yeah. So the bigger scale for distribution, or the top scale for distribution for most Nollywood films at the moment, is the cinema. And for your film to be out on the cinema, you need to plan, for like a promotion to promote the film through advertising, by producing flyers, standees, billboards, newspapers, and also radio and TV adverts to get your film out there. And once a Nollywood film goes to the cinema, it has a window of 4 to 5 weeks. There are films that have done more than that have done about 2 months, but it depends on how well the film is faring in the cinema. So I'm going to quickly play another film. One of the things that has also happened to Nollywood cinema is we've been able to distribute our films through festivals to the world. So this trailer I'm about to play is called The Lost Okoroshi. And it was first premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival. So I'm going to quickly play it. Please, Shami, let me know if you have audio for this. Yeah.
So far, So far, I can't hear anything. I'll just wait for it.
Can you confirm if you can hear the audio?
No, I can't.
Okay. I know what happened. I know what happened. No. I'm making the same mistake. Okay, so yeah, I know the mistake I'm making.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean, it's pretty tricky. Now. You got to take it. Happens to me as well.
They get that dream. You come next to this soft phone. Try me and come next one more time. You hear them talk. This work of Paris. Maybe you don't tire. This job no good. Every time complain. If you see them this time, they win many more. I want to advise you. Anytime when you see masquerade they come, no wrong. Stay with the meeting. Those masquerades, they are our ancestors. I beg you, go free they come office like this for this. When people even is smoke and girl, many people for him.
Apagacha don't leave all this they don't change profile. Oh, home video kind of clear man.
All right, I really love this film. I saw it, and if you can catch it on Netflix as well. I like it because of the audacity of the filmmaker, his boldness to tell this type of story. It's not the regular kind of storytelling style, and it kind of breaks the norm of film distribution, because the traditional film distribution format will tell you not to make this type of a film because it's not going to make any profit. But we are now in an age in Nollywood where we have younger filmmakers that are very curious, that are very adventurous, and their voice is fresh, and you can see that, in this trailer that I just shared. So for Nollywood, the distribution chain, like I mentioned earlier, starts with the cinema, and from the cinema, you can have the regular box office, which is where the audience, goes to the cinema to see the films, and you have private screenings. And we also have community cinemas that are beginning to come up, in different parts of Nigeria. We also have what we call segmented cinema releases, where those films are released in particular regions alone. You can also have school screenings, and there are multiple screenings that can happen with your film aside from the regular cinema release. Also, we have our cable and terrestrial television, we have pay TV, we have DTT, and we have free-to-air distribution as well, where we use the advertising model, where you can put your film on a television station and you can get adverts from advertising agencies. That is happening as well. There's also the VOD, video on demand, And we have the OTT, the transactional video on demand, the subscription-based video on demand, and the advert-based video on demand. So all these are the distribution channels for Nollywood. Here we have our local distribution platforms. So we have Netflix, which is international, but we also have our own distribution, which is called Iroko. We have different ones, Ibaka, there are different ones where local filmmakers can distribute their films as well. We also have our own cable TV called DSTV, and we also have Star Times, and films can be distributed on those platforms as well. We also have our transactional based video on demand, like our YouTube, Amazon Prime, and we also have YouTube as well, and Facebook, and those other channels to distribute our films. So I'm going to move on. So these are just examples of the different platforms that we have here: Africa Magic, 𝗕¿, Rock, Tribe. So Nollywood films are getting local distributions for a start. I'll move on to the other ways we distribute our films. But before that, what makes a film? What makes a film? What gives a film value? What guarantees that your film will be distributed and it will be successfully distributed? The number one thing is the audience connection. The audience should be able to watch your film and say, look, this film connects, and there's what we call word of mouth. You know, and I'm not just talking about the local audience, also the international audience, depending on how far you want your film to go. Originality is also very important. The originality of the idea, the premise should be fresh and innovative as well. There should be a global appeal. You know, when I watch certain Indian films, or when I watch films from Europe, the directors that I do like their works, I can relate and connect with the idea because the film has a global appeal. Nollywood films are beginning to have global appeal, and that's a good thing. Then excellent production values. The production values in art direction, in cinematography, in the performance of the actors, these things are very important, you know, to the success of the film's distribution. And story is very important. And in our story, we love romance. We love an identifiable protagonist. There has to be a strong conflict. Pop culture is also beginning to be part of an appeal for distribution. Social media, technology, all these are things that is being infused in Nollywood films that make them have what I call a wide appeal at the moment. Also, the touchstones of Nigerian culture, you always find this in our films. Humor is also a big part of our films. Films that take us to a new world. Most of the films that have been playing their trailers here, they are taking us to a new world, a world where we've not seen before. The last one, The Lost of Koroshi, took us into the world of masquerades. We don't know that world, and that film is taking us on that journey. Then global quality control and specifications. You know, so we're beginning to adhere to formats and specifications that are acceptable to international platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime. I'm going to move on. So I'm going to play this video. This is an example of a film that succeeded at the box office and made a turnover of almost 300 million naira. I've not been able to convert that, but I'm just going to play the video and please enjoy.
Okay, carefully before you answer. Lọ́sẹ̀ kan sísìn ọmọkùnrin yẹn tọmọ yín kẹ́ rí wọn ní ìgbéyàwó tàbí kẹ́ gbọ́ ìròyìn wípé ọmọkùnrin náà fò ṣánlẹ̀ òkú. Èwo lẹ fẹ́?
Mama, we need to see you. Adekunle, o dey fọ́ ẹ ní orí.
Makanaki ṣe nǹkan ṣe ẹ́ ni.
You have drawn the battle line.
Stand him up.
You have stepped on the tail of the tiger.
I am Laburu. God's worst punishment in a person.
Okay, so this film is King of Boys. Like I said, it made over $1 million at the Nigerian box office. And it's just an example of the scale that some of the actors in the film are A-list actors, and she was able to use art direction, cinematography, and story to wow the audience, and the film got good distribution. And there is a part 2 of this, which is coming up. Netflix is now fully commissioning the part 2 of this, and I'm sure the filmmaker, a female by the way, got a good deal for this film. So some of the things about getting returns on investment and distributing your film, some elements that are very important for us in Nollywood is first, return on investment, the brand media presence of the audience, how the audience reacts to the film, then the market research, understanding the audience, understanding what the audience like, advertising for the film is also very, so the marketing drive is also very important as well. So so how do we make money aside from going to the cinema and Netflix? I just broke down the different ways that the contemporary Nollywood films, how money is being made. So the first one is ticket sales, through ticket sales, then TV streaming services, commissioning. You know, a lot of Nollywood producers are being commissioned by Netflix, Amazon Prime, and even HBO at the moment. Air flight, airplanes, in-flight is also very important. We have executive screenings, in-flight screenings are happening for films. Then merchandise product placement is also happening. Also, people are getting more of grants and awards from the government and from private enterprises that are interested in Nollywood. So also, Nollywood is also beginning to delve into genres. We've also delved into sci-fi and action, and this film is an example of one of those films that has done that as well. I'm going to be rounding up very soon. How many more minutes do I have?
I can continue, no problem. Yeah, maybe. Right. Maybe we'll finish the presentation in another 5-10 minutes, and we'll open up the discussion.
I always thought of it as a safe haven. You know,
can you get the volume?
Free from the catastrophe of war. The situation on the ground has just really gotten me heartbroken.
She names that Thomas Sword. She's no. What you do?
They are dead.
Okay. So I'll just move on. Okay. So that's Ratnik. It was made by a young independent filmmaker here as well. So let me just quickly round off this one. I wanted to just touch on some numbers, but let me just quickly say this. There is a large young population in Nigeria that are consuming, you know, films, and that's good for distribution for us. There's also an increased popularity of Nigerian films abroad, as evident in the distribution of some of the recent films that we do have on Netflix and other platforms. Then increased access to internet is driving the increase of streaming and other digital offerings. We're having an increasing number of cinemas as well. Nigeria at the moment has about 200 cinemas and now close to 1,000 cinema screens, which is a good thing for us. We didn't have this as at 5 years ago. Now we can dub films into other languages. That's good as well. Filmmakers also have access to loans and is helping filmmaking as well. There's also digital opportunities like connected devices, devices like Samsung, iPhone, and also our smart television screens are already beginning to acquire content and preload them. Also, the gaming and app world is also taking in Nollywood, like King of Boys, Kasala. They are becoming part of a game of gaming. There are games that have been dedicated to these films as well. Publishing and DVDs, all these are still part of distribution in Nigeria. Also, we are able to distribute to about 24 Anglophone African countries. We are also able to distribute to about 26 Francophone countries. We can dub into this language or just distribute to the markets. We also have 6 countries in Portuguese, under the Portuguese that are acquiring Nollywood films. We also have Arab Africa like Morocco, Egypt, about 8 countries that our films are being distributed in. Also, other markets would include North America, Europe, Middle East, and Asia. So like I said earlier on, the success criteria for any producer with film is, number one, the quality of production, the box office records, monitoring and evaluation, then the technical specification of the licensee, the quality of language dubbing, which allows us to distribute these films to different countries, then novelty in content, in distribution. We are beginning to find new ways of distributing films. We are beginning to have 3D cinema plexes, and things like that, where we are moving away from the traditional cinema and we are having open air cinemas. We're having special screenings at parks that is aiding distribution as well. Pricing is also important for distribution and it's getting better. Also, our classification, our NFVCB is our National Film and Video Censors Board. And once your film is rated, in a way that it has a general viewing, then your distribution has more prospects. And also, we also have acquisition executives and aggregators, and through email marketing, phone calls, pitching at content markets and conventions in the region is helping us move on with our content. I'm going to quickly share some numbers in 5 minutes before I round off. I hope we can still see my screen. So this is just some numbers. These numbers need some updating, but this is where we are at the moment. And I'm just going to be jumping from slide to slide. And this is, Africa has a big population, as you can see there. And you can see the number of cinema houses that we have in different states in Nigeria, and this number is growing every day. That's just a breakdown. And these are some of our cinema distributors that we have in Nigeria that are distributing films, whether in Nigeria or outside of Nigeria. These are some of the numbers, box office numbers so far. These are some of the films and the numbers that they have made. So you have the Nigerian films also competing with some of the films. These are Hollywood releases, and also we have Nollywood releases, and you can see that the numbers are not bad as well. Recently this year, we have a Nigerian film that has broken all records. It's called Omogeto. He made about 630 million naira in the box office, which is close to about $3 million, and that's not a bad thing at all. These are just a breakdown of the screens that we have in Nigeria and the admissions of the audience, and this is just an overview of our censors board, how our films are calculated and ratified in the cinemas. And these are the new developments in our cinema distribution. We have 6 special screens at the different cinemas. We have Max 4D, which is now in our cinemas. Also, we have 4D sites nationwide, 4DX sites nationwide, and also the cinemas have been integrated in ComScore, whereas we can see the numbers of the films, how they are doing well at the cinema. These are some of the new things, new development, integration of technology, Wi-Fi and cloud services. There's also opening of more cinemas. Marketing and PR of films and the cinemas has gone very well. Also, pop-up and mobile cinemas is also a thing in Nigeria now, and that's a very good thing for us. Box office revenue from cinemas nationwide has been about 5.9 billion. This number has increased because this number was from 2020 and 2019. So it's gone to about 10 billion now, which is a good thing for us. The numbers for pay TV and DVD has also gone up from 3.5 billion to about 6 billion. Also, in-flight private screenings and festival screenings have gone up to about 400 million naira, and this is good. The TVOD and SVOD revenue has gone up to about 3 billion. You know, and this is just because I belong to a group where all these things are being updated, and they've not just been formally updated as well. So these are the platforms that Nigerian filmmakers have access to sell and distribute their films. Airlines, pay TV, SVOD, and TVOD as well. And our films, like I mentioned earlier, are being distributed to different countries as well. And these are some of our major distribution channels. Canal Plus and Rock TV has a collaboration. It's a Nigerian company and a French company acquiring tons and tons of films in Nollywood. Amazon Prime, they've been doing bulk acquisition of Nollywood films. Netflix as well have been doing that as well. And that's just it. And I think I'll end my presentation there. But I will summarize that Nollywood cinema has come of age, and this is just the starting point for us, because in the last 15 years we've achieved all these things, and a lot more filmmakers, young filmmakers, adventurous filmmakers are coming into the game. And also Nollywood is seeking collaboration. I mentioned Namaste, a collaboration with Nigeria and Nollywood and Bollywood. The same thing is happening with Hollywood as well. So I am personally looking forward to more collaborations with other countries that have similar cultures and similar interest in film. So I will end it there. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Suki. Now the stage is open up for discussions. If you got any questions, you can raise your hand. Also, you can, Kushagrika, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for the amazing presentation, and you really introduced us a lot to a lot of good Nigerian films, as well as we learned a lot about the distribution system. So what I wanted to ask you about was, like you said, like Bollywood and Nollywood both are really big industries, and in Bollywood soon, like with the coming of OTT, I think there's been a lot more independent cinema and a lot of fresh faces rather than just the big action dramas. So I wanted to ask, like it's really fresh for me. So I wanted to ask, what is there in, what do you think Nollywood is lacking, and what would you like to see in the future of Nollywood, and really what's coming up, and what would you like to see there?
Thank you very much for that brilliant question. So for me, one of the things that is lacking in Nollywood is the interest of the government in Nollywood. Please, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear.
All right. It's so we don't have government investing in Nollywood, and most of the developments that we've seen in Nollywood, they are from private enterprises. Some of our biggest cinema distribution chains are private. You know, so the government they've not devoted resources and finance into building film villages, sound stages, and also infrastructure and equipment. That's what's lacking. That's what I would like to see. You know, so there is a sort of engagement going on with the government now, where we are just about to get into digital television, digital broadcast after so many years. It's only happening this year, and the government they've done a lot of work in that area. So now we can have a lot more independence and competition in the television space, because that's what's lacking as well. That television model where advertising can meet with film, we've missed that opportunity because proper attention has not been paid to our TV distribution model over the years. We've only relied on the cinemas, and now that we have OTT, that's what's also helping a lot of Nollywood filmmakers. So I'd love to see in future the Nigerian government, just building infrastructure, because and even if the government is able to collaborate with the private enterprises as well, and they can co-own resources and infrastructures that people can have access to. That's one thing that is lacking when it comes to talent, when it comes to stories, when it comes to crew and everything that you need, even the locations to use. Nigeria is rich in that, but what we lack is just the infrastructure and the network, to get our films, out there to a wider audience. What is also lacking for me is collaboration. Yes, I mentioned a collaboration with India. I feel like a collaboration will help us expose ourselves more to the outside world. That would be a good future, because we will learn a lot from other culture, from their filmmaking, other countries that have advanced in their distribution and the kind of genres and how they've been able to do this successfully. We can take a learning from that. Yeah.
Thank you, 𝗪𝗀𝗀, and thank you, Suki. Got more questions? Suki, I personally, I really loved your presentation, and I really, wish many of the industry people itself attended this, because it's kind of an eye opener, because the variety of avenues that the UI industry open up is quite amazing, because they're not just focusing upon the big chains. You're parallelly developing up a lot of alternative avenues as well in terms of distribution. So I personally believe that should happen in terms of a democratic expression. And my question is, like, how relevant is the small scale independent OTT platforms that coming up, and what kind of role that play in the industry to enhance or accelerate the independent productions? I'm not talking about Netflix or Amazon Prime or anything, other regional OTT platforms that coming in, and what is their role in the industry?
Okay, so very good question. Thank you for that question. Yes, I'm going to make reference to one particular OTT platform. It's called Iroko, spelled as IROKO. And this platform is an example of how you can empower independent filmmakers and give them a voice. So this platform gained success by first releasing films on YouTube. So they were acquiring a lot of Nollywood films over the years, and they put it on, and that gave them a kind of visibility and popularity. And they then went on to start their own OTT platform known as Iroko. So what they started doing was they started commissioning filmmakers, and they started acquiring films as well. Now, prior to that, it was very difficult to get your film to the cinema or to get your films to the cable TV, because the cable TVs have a standard, and they have like gatekeepers, and they have all these rules and regulations that you had to pass through for your film to be distributed. But the moment a platform like Iroko came on board, it became easy. You could just walk into Iroko, have a conversation with them, and there wasn't that long process where you have the legendary filmmakers who they are only listening to. But Iroko was just listening to everybody. They were taking films from, it doesn't matter what age or what genre your film was about. So that kind of led to a tremendous success, because they now had more volumes of films that people had access to, and people could watch their films on their phones. People could watch on their laptops. People could, immediately access films. And also what then they started doing was they started training filmmakers as well. So they would take filmmakers to the UK, take them through trainings in cinematography, in storytelling, you know, and that was really good for the industry because a lot of people now knew what they had to do to get their films distributed. Also, they were acquiring equipment for these independent filmmakers, more like a loan, and they could pay back in bits. And for me, that was a good thing. And they would also allow the filmmakers to also distribute their films on other platforms as well. So for instance, you could make a film and take it to the cinema and also bring it back to the platform, you know, and that's a good example of how a local platform in Nigeria has given a voice to young filmmakers and has helped to grow the industry. And after them, we've had, you know, other OTTs as well that have followed suit, you know, and have given voice to short form content. So it doesn't have to be a feature film. It could just be a short film. It could be a short documentary. And so now there is that confidence that if I made a film, there is always a platform that my film can get distributed on.
Great. Thank you so much. Any more questions, please? We could take 2 more questions maybe before we end it up. Can raise your hand or else, you know, pop your questions in the chat box. Yeah. So yeah, Kushagrika, please go forward with your question.
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to know how your experience has been in distributing your own media, like your films and TV shows, and how did you go about it?
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll start with my film that is on Netflix, which is called Lost in London. I would use that as a reference. And so I made this film as a student. Shemin knows about it. So I
could see. I mean, sorry for interrupting. I could see our Talbot campus in the trailer. Also,
Yeah.
I could see the face of 𝗖𝗍𝗀 in it.
Yeah. So, you know, so I made the film and I was very unsure about the journey that the film would make because I thought, oh, this was a student film. And it wasn't just a student film because I had collaborated with a Nollywood producer and she had said, look, I'll bring in some funds to increase the scale of the film. And it was a learning for me as a filmmaker because that would be the first time I would be a producer on a major film. And by the time we had made the film, Nollywood had already started opening up. We already had about maybe over 100 cinemas, and this was around 2016. And so the film went to the cinema and we were able to break even at the cinema. So we had a collaboration with the film house, with the cinema company called Film House. And so they kind of had a model for marketing the film. And we were able to adapt to that model, and whether it be the in-cinema materials, you know, billboards, advertising on radio and television, we went through that and were able to get the audience. And, you know, we didn't make all the money in the world, but we're able to break even and we're able to recoup, you know, the investment. And from there, the film then took a journey and went onto a cable TV in Nigeria called DSTV. And that was also a good thing because the popularity of the film at the cinema made it easy for us to distribute because people already knew about it, and also helped us to distribute that film properly, you know, and helped us to negotiate for a good price, you know, for the film. And for every platform, we had like a time frame. So for the cable TV, it was just 1 year. And after 1 year, we're able to get it on the airlines. And it was in flight on some Nigerian and Turkish airlines, which was a good thing as well. And I was surprised because I didn't know that the film could take this journey, you know, but also because the film had some kind of universal appeal. So maybe that was why it was easy for people to acquire it as well. And from there, we were able to get the film on Netflix, which is on Netflix right now on a 2-year run. And that's the journey that personally I have taken, with my film. Some of my other content have only been on the local cable TV, where, either I was commissioned to make a film, or I made a film in collaboration with other filmmakers, and then we sell those films to the local distribution company.
Thank you, 𝗔𝗱𝗃𝗃, and thank you, Suki. Would entertain one more question and wrap the session. Okay. Yes, Shagriya, yeah.
So I just wanted one more question.
Please.
Sorry for hogging all the questions, but I wanted to know a little bit, since we're all, a lot of us are film students like you were, and wanted to know how, school, how you would, give advice to us, as well as how film school helped you in your journey, and what were your first ideas when you were going through the school, and what were you thinking about that?
Thank you very much. Your questions are very powerful, and it is also helping me think about my own journey as well. So thank you very much for your brilliant question. So for me, one of the things that film school did for me was it gave me the confidence that I needed, and also allowed me to connect with people. So that film that I made that film mostly with my schoolmates, and I'm still in touch with some of them. I'm only here because, I met Shemin, whilst in school, and we collaborated together, and that relationship still stands till now. I have other filmmakers in Greece, in different places, and also what film school did for me is to say, look, you are knowledgeable. You have an understanding of how a film is made. And this can lead to two things. It can lead to you being overconfident, and it can lead to you being super confident. And there's a difference in both things. When you go to film school, you have this mindset that I know a lot now, and then there's a sort of arrogance that comes with that. And a lot of people are not able to translate that arrogance into productivity, into something that people can see. So don't get bogged with all the theories, with all the books you have to read, with all the things that you're being fed. That is important. But you have to think, do you want to be a filmmaker? A filmmaker makes films, and it doesn't matter whether you start making great films. The film I made, I felt I could have done a lot better, but I made the film, and the film took a journey on its own that opened new doors for me. And I'm approached by people to make films for them because I made that film, which was my final year project. There is what we call the audacity of belief. And as a student, once you have this mindset that I understand how to put different elements together, I know the tools, and you don't need to know everything. You don't need to know everything about cinematography. You don't need to know everything about editing to make a film. You just need to make a film with the resources that you have. So my advice to you is make films, make bad films, make good films if you can, but keep making films, because as you make films, you then get better as a filmmaker. And then you begin to define your journey, because your work is what will lead you. Your work is your light. Not what you know, not what you say, but is what you produce. So let the people see what you can do. It doesn't matter if you feel like, oh, it's not a very great story. As long as you keep moving, as long as you keep adding knowledge, as long as you keep collaborating and finding the right people that can help make your films better. That's difficult, but that's the journey of a filmmaker. So as a student, don't even wait till you finish. Start making the films now. Thank God for technology. I saw a film, Tangerine, made with an iPhone and won a lot of awards. And increasingly, cameras are becoming smaller. It's about your idea, your innovation, the freshness that you bring. And also, please do this when you're making films, whatever you're doing, whether you're a producer, whether you're a director, whether you're a writer, make films that reflect your experience. Make films that reflect who you are, because that's the kind of films that the world needs now. All kinds of films have been made. Comedies, tragedies, fantasy, crime dramas. You are not going to do anything new, but the new thing that you will do is your voice. When you make a film that stands out, that reflects your experience, your mindset, your worldview, then you stand a chance, to being, a filmmaker of this generation making a difference. Yeah.
Really
Thank you so much,
amazing,
sir.
Suki. That was really amazing. That was, really inspiring as well. I believe in the same philosophy. What I really feel out of it is like, you say make bad movies or bad films. That has got the essence of the life people like us live. Also, it's all about attempts. And thanks a lot, Suki. I would like to conclude this session. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining in. My takeaways in this session is like, your words about collaborations, and I think I believe that is what the movies of this century demand. It's all about using up this technologies and collaborate and do a lot of innovations, and you should push the medium forward as well, as we grow up. And it's really glad I could see you in such heights. You were making good movies, and I could also see 𝗓𝗏𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗏, your actor has grown up as a star now. I can watch him in many of the movies in Netflix. Yeah, so it's and 𝗓𝗏𝗀𝗃 as also, I'm collaborating with 𝗓𝗏𝗃 as well in another project in Greece. So yeah, all these things. It's really happy to see all friends we know kind of growing up and all. So it's a very moment of happiness, both in terms of my professional life, also my personal life, and I believe that this was a very useful. I'm very sure that this is a very useful session for all the participants. Thanks a lot, Suki and Krishna Kumar sir, Dinesh sir, Hari sir, Harishnan sir, and all the participants. Yeah, we have our HOD Dinesh Babu sir there. Sir, would you like to say some words?
Yes, sir. Good evening, one and all, and it is really good. I was watching his session, and parallelly we have finally a project Viva dissertation Viva was. So as parallelly I'm working on that, and I'm looking over your session. It is really wonderful. Thank you once again for giving us good valuable knowledge to us, and I thank our Dr. Shemin sir for bringing such a wonderful personalities to our campus and to the department. Thank you very much. Thank you, Shemin sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Suki, and thanks everybody. Now it's a Shanti mantra.
Yes, sir. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.